Now, after his big win in the Western primary, Bernie Sanders is going to go on ABC's This Week with Jonathan KARL. And basically what he's going to do is he's going to call out corporate media bullshit. Take a look at this. Now, before I show you this clip, I want to show you the framing that the media is doing. Of course, it's the framing of, oh, Bernie Sanders is so far behind, he'll never be able to win. Well, I want to show you so you can see for yourselves.
And that was Bernie Sanders declaring victory last night at a rally in Wisconsin. The senator won 3 landslide victories last night out west. In Washington state, he had a decisive, nearly 50-point win. In Alaska, the margin was even bigger. He scored over 80% of the vote. And in Hawaii, another blowout. But Sanders remains far behind in the total delegate count, trailing Hillary Clinton by over 700 delegates. Senator Sanders joins me right now. Senator Sanders, congratulations. That was a big night.
Thank you very much.
So you won big out there in those 3 states. You're still way behind in the delegate count. But does that, what does this mean for the race? Does this mean you are absolutely going through to the end?
Oh, what does this mean? I mean, sure, you won 3 landslides in a row, but what does it mean? It means that he won, and it means that he's competitive. You know, he was about to ask him, so what does this mean? Are you actually going to stay in the race or are you going to drop out? He didn't get to finish that question because Bernie Sanders, he wasn't having it. But what kind of question is that? Now, I noticed up in the Chiron, some of the graphics, I should say, of that, where it showed the superdelegates and it showed the regular delegates. Now, they don't really count, right? Because superdelegates, of course, can change their support of a candidate at any time. In fact, they're supposed to change based on who has more delegates by the time the convention rolls around. Now, Hillary Clinton right now has more pledged delegates. Okay, right? However, if Bernie catches up by the convention and he takes the lead, the superdelegates should follow. And that's what happened in 2008. Hillary Clinton also had all the superdelegates. It was clear that she wasn't going to win. They switched. They should do the same thing. If they don't, that's bad news for the party. Now, Jonathan KARL is going to quickly throw in a bullshit stat after this, and I want you to listen to it.
But you still need 73% of the delegates going forward, which is a
No, we
huge...
don't. No.
No. Bernie Sanders does not need 73% of the remaining delegates to win. That's bullshit. It's a bullshit media narrative. It's a bullshit talking point. It's not true. He actually needs, and here are the real numbers, Sanders needs 56.6 of the remaining pledged delegates to win the nomination. Now, once again, they keep including the superdelegates. The superdelegates are not pledged until the convention to whoever has the majority of delegates. He is trying to mislead you. And Bernie Sanders, he's not having any of it.
Well, no, I don't accept that. That is not the case. You're assuming that every superdelegate who now supports Secretary Clinton will stay with her. You're not taking into consideration the fact there are hundreds of delegates, superdelegates who have not yet made a decision. We think we can win many of them. And what we showed yesterday is, in fact, the momentum is with us. We think we're going to do well in Wisconsin. We think we got a real shot in New York. And then we go out to California. You go out to Oregon. That's the most progressive part of America. We think we're going to do very well there. So I will not deny for 1 second that we still remain the underdogs. But we have come a long, long way. You will have to concede in the last 10 months. We do have a path toward victory.
All right, so a good answer to that bullshit question. Yes, he thinks he can win some superdelegates. In fact, he's been getting some superdelegates. See, the thing is, when you win a county by such an overwhelming margin or you win a state, that delegate, that superdelegate should say, well, gee, the people voted for Bernie Sanders or in some cases Hillary Clinton. I should go and support the candidate that the people wanted. And that's not what we're seeing with the superdelegates so far, unfortunately. Now, finally, there's another question. It's a little bit different than some of the other questions that Jonathan KARL is going to ask. He's going to ask a question that some Democrats have been asking for quite some time. Hey, now that Hillary Clinton is ahead, she's presumed to be the front runner. She's presumed to be the nominee, I should say. She currently is the front runner because she has more delegates. Okay, well, look, she's going to win, Bernie. So why don't you lay off?
You've heard Democrats saying it's time for you to lay off Senator Clinton, Secretary Clinton, keep this positive now, stop the attacks on her Wall Street ties, her super PAC, all of that. Are you going to start laying off, or are you going to, put the pedal to the metal here?
We've just won 6 out of the last 7 contests. We have the momentum. We won 3 landslide victories yesterday. And the reason we're doing well is that we are talking about the real issues facing the American people. And campaign finance is one of them. We have raised now 6 million individual campaign contributions, averaging $27 apiece. That's unprecedented in American political history. Secretary Clinton has super PACs. She has raised some $15 million at least from Wall Street, money from the fossil fuel industry and the drug companies. Do I think the American people need to know that? Is that an important issue? I think it is. Our votes on the war. I voted against the war in Iraq. She voted for the war in Iraq. That's an important issue. I am opposed to continuation of fracking. She supports fracking. Those are important issues. That's what a campaign is about. I do not run negative ads. But clearly contrasting my position with Secretary Clinton's is what a campaign is supposed to be about.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to, in order to run a campaign, you have to show the differences. And it just so happens the difference between Sanders and Clinton is that Hillary Clinton takes a lot of Wall Street money, a lot of corporate money. Bernie Sanders does not. That's pretty clear. But see, here's the reason of this question, right? Is that they're trying to say, look, hey, Bernie, look, you ran a great campaign, but it's over. You're done. You've made your case. You sent your message. You sent your message. Now, you should probably lay off Clinton. You should lay off the whole Wall Street thing. We got it. We understand. But now, let's let the adults take over. That's the message right there. And to that, Bernie Sanders says, hell no. I'm going to keep hammering the one issue that supersedes every other issue in America. That's money in politics. If you have a super PAC that you coordinate with, you're part of the problem. You're part of that system of money in politics. How are you expected to do something about it, about big money in politics, if you're getting big money in politics for your campaign? How are you going to do anything about it? Are you going to shut off your own gravy train? Yeah, sorry guys, you bankrolled my campaign, but now I'm going to turn around on you and try to get money out of politics. That's inconceivable. Would it be nice? It would be fantastic. If she pulled that move, I would forever be a Clinton person. I would be like, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant. Oh man, I love the way you turned that around on the big money interests. But I don't think she's going to do that. I'm not buying it. And that's what a lot of us Sanders supporters are saying. Look, man, would it be nice? It'd be great. But we're not buying it. We don't think Clinton is the one to get rid of money in politics because she plays the game. Because she's gotten lots of money in politics. I think over her entire career, the Clintons, along with their foundation, have made $3 billion. Now, I actually heard an argument from a Clinton supporter that actually suggested, and get this, that some of the small donors, the 6 million small donors donating to Bernie Sanders, were buying influence. Now, I'm not going to name this person, right? But here's her quote in response to Bernie criticizing the Clooney fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. Quote, why is it better to take money from people who don't have much to give in exchange for promises you can't deliver than it is for people who can afford to chip in some of their pocket change? And if you do the former, are you only going to be beholden to those little people who actually donated to your campaign? Are they buying influence too? Well, let's see. You have 6 million people giving an average of $27 versus a handful of corporations and billionaires that are giving the maximum donation plus giving unlimited money to super PACs. What is more representative of the people? If you can't answer that honestly, you either don't understand the problem or you're lying. You're not being honest. And then there, of course, there's the promises that you can't deliver. You're not going to be able to deliver it. Congress is not going to work with you. You can't get it done. What makes you think Congress is going to work with anything Hillary Clinton has to put on the table other than tax cuts and deregulation? That's why we need a political revolution. That's why we need to take back the House and the Senate. in order to get some of these things passed. With Hillary Clinton, we might not take the Senate and the House back. Will there be enough enthusiasm? That should be the question. Now, everywhere, the pundits are assuming, or the Hillary Clinton camp and pro-Hillary supporters think, well, of course they're going to come out and vote. Ted Cruz and Donald Trump are nuts. You've got to come out and vote. We're counting on that. Well, remember, a lot of Sanders supporters are independents, as well as progressives that don't see Hillary Clinton as progressive enough. Now, some of those may go to vote for Clinton because of, hey, look, she ain't great, but she's not Trump, right? But you got a lot of independents that are like, no Clinton whatsoever. We'll go to Trump before we go to Clinton. That actually makes her less electable. Remember, independents make up a huge portion of the electorate. It's kind of a no-brainer. When you look at it, if you want a more electable candidate, you go to Bernie Sanders.